The Galactic Naval Academy floated in the void between stars, a monument to the unity of 1,000 species. Within its gleaming halls, the strongest, fastest, and smartest of the galaxy's youth trained to become officers in the Interstellar Defense Coalition. Among them walked Anna Reeves, human, and decidedly unremarkable. At least, that's what everyone believed. Move aside, mammal, hissed Crystal. A Zephyrian, whose crystalline exoskeleton caught the light as he shouldered past Anna in the corridor. His three companions, a towering Grothian, a sleek Valerian, and another Zephyrian, laughed at his casual cruelty. Wouldn't want you to get hurt before you wash out. Anna said nothing. She'd learned that silence was easier than defending herself. Humans were the joke of the Academy, admitted only 5 cycles ago after Earth's recent induction into the Coalition. Weak gravity worlders, they called her kind. Fragile, slow to heal, limited to a single form, unlike the shapeshifters, lacking the natural armor of a dozen other species. She continued toward the training deck, her human friend Daniel falling into step beside her. You could report him, Daniel suggested quietly. Unlike Anna, he found his niche in the Academy's tactical simulations, where his pattern recognition skills impressed even the Thalnary instructors. For what? Being right. Anna's voice carried no bitterness, only resignation. She'd scored in the bottom percentile for strength tests, middling in speed trials, and her endurance, while better, was nothing compared to the Corthan cadets, who could run for days without rest. The training deck was massive, a space designed to accommodate cadets of all sizes and gravitational preferences. Today's exercise was simple: environmental breach resistance. Each species would demonstrate their natural resilience against vacuum exposure, extreme temperatures, and radiation bursts. Instructor Velmuth, a venerable Oldarian with skin like polished obsidian, gestured for the cadets to assemble. Today, you prove your worthiness for void operations. Each of you will enter the testing chamber and withstand controlled exposure. Your species' natural advantages will be evaluated, one by one. Cadets entered the reinforced chamber. The Grothians laughed off radiation that would sterilize lesser beings. Zephyrians endured temperature extremes that would boil water or freeze nitrogen. The Valerians shifted their molecular structure to adapt. Then came Anna's turn. The human, Velmuth announced, not unkindly, but with obvious doubt. 3 minutes in mixed conditions. Try not to require medical intervention. Anna stepped into the chamber. Through the observation window, she could see Daniel's worried face among the crowd of amused aliens. Crystal was openly taking baits on how quickly she'd signal for extraction. The test began. Radiation first, gamma bursts that would devastate organic tissue. Anna felt the familiar warmth but stood firm. Temperature plummeted to near out zero, then spiked to levels that made the air shimmer. She breathed slowly, evenly, drawing on something the other species couldn't understand. Humans weren't built for one environment. They were built for all of them. Earth was a death world, though none of the galaxy realized it yet. A planet where the atmosphere was a corrosive oxygen mix that would poison most species, where the gravity was crushing, where temperature swings were violent, where radiation from a yellow star bombarded the surface, where predators hunted and prey fled, and everything was trying to kill everything else, and humans had conquered it all. Anna's 3 minutes became 5, then 10. Velmuth's eyes widened. The chamber's systems were running at maximum output, cycling through conditions that should have broken her. Impossible, someone whispered. At 15 minutes, Anna calmly pressed the exit button, not because she needed to, but because the test parameters were complete. She emerged with slightly flushed skin, nothing more. The training deck had gone silent. A malfunction, Crystal declared, his voice so loud. The chamber failed. No weak world mammal could. Then I'll demonstrate another way, Anna said quietly. She walked to the center of the deck, to the reinforced steel platform used for strength demonstrations. It was rated to withstand a Grothian's full-force strike, composed of alloys that could survive ship-to-ship combat. Anna knelt and placed her bare hand flat against the surface. Anna, what are you? Daniel started. She closed her eyes and remembered Earth. remembered that every human carried within them the legacy of survivors. Ancestors who'd walked out of Africa and conquered frozen tundras and burning deserts, who'd stared down megafauna and survived plagues that killed millions, who'd learned to break stones and bend metal and split atoms. Humans weren't specialized for anything, they were generalized for everything. Anna's muscles engaged not with brute force, but with the perfect biomechanical efficiency of a persistence hunter. Her bones, denser than any mammal her size should possess, provided the framework. Her tendons, capable of storing and releasing elastic energy, channeled the power. Her nervous system, evolved for throwing spears and calculating trajectories, coordinated it all with unconscious precision. She pushed. The durasteel groaned. Impossible, said physics. Impossible, said the metallurgy. But Earth had never cared much for impossible. A hairline crack appeared. Anna's hand didn't break. Human hands, with their opposable thumbs and sensitive touch, had shaped civilizations. They'd painted cave walls and composed symphonies and built starships. They were tools of creation, but they'd also crushed skulls and strangled predators and refused to let go even as saber-toothed cats dragged their owners into darkness. The crack widened around her. Cadets backed away. Instructor Velmuth was shouting something, but Anna was beyond hearing. She was thinking of her grandmother, who'd survived the collapse, of her father, who'd rebuilt their farm with his bare hands after the storms, of every human who'd ever been told they were too weak, too soft, too fragile. The training deck split in two. Not an explosion, not a violent rupture, just a steady, inexorable fracture that spread from Anna's hand outward, bisecting the reinforced platform as easily as breaking bread. Alarms shrieked. Emergency bulkheads began to descend. Anna stood, breathing normally, her hand unmarked. Death Worlders. Someone whispered in the stunned silence. The word spread like fire through dry grass. They're Death Worlders. Daniel was grinning like a maniac. Crystal had turned a shade paler, his crystalline body refracting light in shocked patterns. Instructor Velmuth approached slowly, carefully, as one might approach something dangerous. Cadet Reeves? How? Anna looked at her hand, then at the assembled cadets, the best and strongest the galaxy had to offer. You asked us to demonstrate our natural advantages, she said simply. I'm human. We don't quit. We don't break. And we never, ever know when we're beaten. She walked toward the exit, past aliens who now looked at her with something new in their eyes. Not contempt, fear, respect. Same time tomorrow. Instructor, Anna asked. Velmuth could only nod. Behind her, Daniel laughed a very human sound, full of triumph and vindication. The joke of the academy had just rewritten everyone's understanding of what humans could do. And Anna, she was just getting started.